I know you guys know that I have technical difficulties at times. I am on Gab. This is Wolfpack. Oh, I forgot. Wolfpack at Wolfpack on Gab. Uh, W capital W capital P. Yeah, and I started to I did some tweaking on my computer. So now it's kind of working. um, I still haven't figured out how to get my video on there, but I really don't think that I will because I mean, as we talk or whatever, I don't want to. Uh, I don't want you guys just sitting there looking at my face the whole time. You know, I that's kind of annoying. You know, so um, what I'll do is that I want to start off with some different topics, and how we're going to work this today is pretty simple. We're going to um, what we're going to do is I'm going to list some sites here, and I'm going to actually open it up to some phone calls. I'm going to be on Gab right now, and I'll take your phone calls there. My group chat, for some reason, is in Google, um, and I'm trying to see how to get it over to the chat line uh, on YouTube, and I'm searching that. So if you're chatting in YouTube, I don't know. I think maybe I'll pull it up on YouTube. Anyway, I'll try. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put the links up that I'm at right now, um, and maybe we can utilize that for our gain here. Here a little bit. Let me get set up, guys. I'm sorry. I apologize. We're going to get into some subjects here in a minute. Um, Once again, I'm on Gab, and you know I don't want to um, downplay uh, Gab, but I am actually I'm getting over the lag time that I have, and uh, it's very difficult whenever I am trying to report news as it's going. Um, that I have to shuffle back and forth, of course. But okay, hello, hello. This is him. Yes, ma'am. You know, I don't have time right now. I'm at work. Can you call me back? I appreciate it. Thanks. I don't know. I don't know who that was, but anyway, I want to further my education, which might be a good idea after you guys watch this video. Might be something I want to look into. Um, but I'm going to add up here a place where you guys can actually call in. I'm trying to generate some followers. Um, I mean, just to get the word out, and actually not I don't care about myself. I'm getting my um, uh, I want to get more. Okay, oh, man, let's see. Okay, I want to get my name out there, not for popularity reasons, but also I want to get it out so individuals will know a little bit about me, and also know that I'm actually um, what my I guess my narrative is. I guess is somebody asked me if I had a narrative the other day, and I'm like, do I need that one? I don't know, but I'm going to be talking on some subjects today, and I will um, all these. If you call in, I will. Of course, I will answer your questions. I'm going to be nice and civil, and I'm not going to argue with you. So let's just kind of try to stay the topic, or change the topic if you want to. But let's try to let's see if you guys can actually get a hold of people or whatever. Going to my a statement not too long ago that I was going to stay on Gab and I was going to use this as a medium to help the platform, but also to find out and have through a debate with a lot of individuals. I learn more that way. And this is basically for me a learning tool. I hope that you'll find that as well. Sharing topics and sharing with each other what each other thinks and getting around a discussion started on things that the American people should be concerned about. And you're typically not really sure who you can say it around or whatever. It may affect your job, may affect your status, it may affect, different things. We don't want to have that here. What we're going to do is we just want to have a roundtable discussion about what's going on, current events, things of that nature, or we'll just bring up a subject. Anybody got a topic, whatever we want to bring up, we'll all chip in and share if there's anyone to share with. Like I said, but I made the statement a while back. I'm going to not give up on this. I am going to stay and put out YouTube videos, and I just now figured out how to go live, and I'm going to go live. And then also put out recordings. I don't know which one's getting better. I don't know which one's the worst. But anyway, let's start it off right now. And like I said, we'll take the chats. Hold on a second. I got my computer. I am like I said, I'm going to go. The first topic I've got is basically this Orville situation. And like a lot of you, I followed the story. And continue to follow it. And I want to caution everyone to the fact is that I really got perturbed because of a lot of people who were claiming to be live at Orville, and there was a couple of streams that I really had concern about. One was something media, live media. They just ran. This really pissed me off. Is that we got caught up in a situation where people were just recording a live photo of the dam, but were rerunning the same material over and over and over again. I mean, it was just a loop going over and over and over and over again. Now, why is that a problem? Well, because the fact is that for people who are just now tuning in, it was very difficult to find out what was actually live. What wasn't live? When did it happen? They didn't put any timestamp on what was being reported. You didn't know what, especially in that time. I mean, they were calling for evacuations. They were repeating the same information over and over again, and they weren't keeping up with the story per se, because the fact is there were some evacuation sites that were opened originally and then they closed. So they reported the ones that were open, but they didn't report the ones that were closed. And that was misleading. I think that it was fear mongering. I think that they took advantage of the situation. They took advantage of this situation to bump up their followers. I think that they, for what it's worth, I think that they went overboard, and it was on. I mean, it was on constantly for like 3 days, and the same information was being put out that was 3 days ago. So there was no new information coming out. Mainstream media didn't pick up on it. That was a couple of blurbs I seen on Fox, and I believe on MSNBC. And when you went locally there to their affiliates, they didn't really have that much info on it. So it was very difficult to keep up with the story. And the only reason why I say that, I mean, if nothing's happening, nothing's happening. But at least if you are in the media, part of your job is to be responsible and report to people that this is actually happening too. I mean, you never know. You could save a life, or you could save somebody a whole hell of a time by just announcing which routes are closed, which is backed up. details that these people need to know when they're getting out. Fortunately, a lot of people say, well, it's, social media doesn't reach. Yeah, it does. It reaches that many people, because if you evacuate your house and you leave, I mean, how many people are on their cell phones? I mean, they're trying to check um, what's going on with the news and everything. Emergency medical services didn't have a number to call. Um, the emergency, I think it was Department of Water Management emergency, they didn't have anything that came out um, directing people where to go. They announced that there was place for animals. You could bring your animals or whatever, livestock basically, and that filled up, and so that information was still out there. So people were still bringing in animals, and they couldn't get in. So we've got to do our part on social media, especially YouTubers who decide that that you're going to report on an event, and you're claiming that it's live, but you actually need to have some kind of live feedback from that area. Have to have a source, basically. In this case, it was very difficult to find actual news coming out of that area. And basically, what the flood damage did, there was a lot of flood damage there, but that wasn't being reported because main story was the dam, and if it was going to hold, the emergency spillway was going to hold. The dam never was in question. It was just a spillway that they had made for an emergency. My thoughts on that are, one, Governor Jerry Brown needs to be put on a hot seat for this, because based on what I've read and I've researched, is that apparently there was $23 million that was diverted from the dam repairs to go toward illegal immigrants and their benefits. 10 years ago, it was actually identified as one of the dams that needed to be repaired in the country. I believe it's the tallest dam, or one of the largest. I think it is the tallest dam. I'm not sure it's the largest, but it is the tallest dam. And they were notified 10 years ago that this needed to happen. They needed to go in and make some drastic changes, predicting an event like this. I mean, luckily we came out of it and nothing happened. But this is a testimony to government letting us down, misusing our tax funds. When I take it, if I was living in that area, I would take it as an insult, because the fact is that, okay, the dam didn't break, and thank God my house is here. But the fact is that look what I had to go through for this. I had to evacuate. I had to pick up my whole life. I had to move my animals. I had to, I had to do all this stuff, which could have been prevented had the government done their job. The state of California, if they would have done their job and allocated this money directly, then all of this could have been avoided. This wouldn't have been on something that was on live or whatever. This could have been avoided. But once again, it's the government coming in, determining where the tax money goes, and determining who gets what funding and who gets what funding or whatever. This next message goes out to environmentalists. I mean, one of the reasons why that it was an issue was because if that was a fish, and I don't know, I was looking for the sense. I was looking what fish it was, but anyway, apparently funds were deserted, and construction was not allowed because of some rare fish that was in the area that was going on at the time. I don't know if that's true or not, but it sounds about like Californians. So there was a lot of reasons why that California didn't allocate these funds to the dam. And I'm sure we're going to hear more about it in the future. Jerry Brown's under the gun right now. I'm sure he's on the hot seat. I think his sphincter was tightened up really good when all this was going on, because if this would have turned out any worse, he would have been blamed. But now, since it didn't, he's getting off scot-free, so to speak, and he's not being held accountable as of yet. I'm not saying that that he didn't. I'm not he won't be. I'm just saying currently, right now, at the present time, he is not. He is not um, um, being held accountable in a lot of aspects, which he should be. And that is a damn shame. I think that's a damn shame. I think that that is. Um, I think that it's duly noted that the government, his government, had a had a lot of influence in on creating this the scare and um, the I guess just the malfeasance of what government did. I mean, they let the government down, and with that, that is unacceptable. I mean, I think that um, uh, people should know um, what um, their funds are being used for. They should know how it's being used, um, and they should have more of a say so, I guess, to how their money is dispersed, I guess. But I think that's every taxpayer everywhere. But anyway, we that's not the only news out of California. I mean, California is they're teetering on the edge um, of well, liberalism is what I'm calling it. They're teetering on the edge because the fact is that there are so many protesters slash rioters or whatever that are really kind of just pissed off about Trump being president. I mean, that's basically what it comes down to. And they want to succeed. They want I guess, pull a temper tantrum because things didn't go their way. But when it all was said and done, um, he's a president, you know, and I've said this before. He's our president, and you know, if you want to succeed, go ahead. You know, I mean, go ahead if you can support your own economy. But I don't want them to be able to succeed, and we still got to support their economy when they're their own country. I mean, there's no more federal funding, guys. You know, there's no more National Guard. There's no more government participation or any government bailouts of any kind coming to your country. And fire season's coming up, man. So when fire season comes up, guess what? We ain't gonna be paying you to, you know, put out your own damn fires. You know, so there's a lot to be said about what's going on and the mentality of California. I know I'm picking on California, but they seem to be the mainstay of the states that are really proposing this, that are actually um, that are really making a big deal out of it. Um, and like I said, be careful what you wish for. I mean, be careful what you wish for because um, that um, it may just come through. And I don't think that California is able yet, or if ever, to actually be considered seriously for state. I mean, for be I guess can support themselves. I don't think so. um, I think that maybe there's a lot of um, politics or something to play with this, and I don't understand that why there can't be some kind of group or somebody that comes out and slaps these people in the freaking head or whatever. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And I can't condone California's reasoning on this. I can't condone them uh, leaving the state. But then again, I mean, I really don't care. I ain't lost nothing in California. I do have $2 to live out there, but um, going to school, and I I wouldn't hold it against them at all as that they want to come back and move, somewhere else, because that's being honest with you. There's a lot of people that are thinking that same thing, is that they're going to move, um, and um, and actually it's happening. One of the largest states that actually is receiving these individuals is Texas. You're getting a lot of California people here in Texas, and I don't know the fully impact of it yet, but um, there's a lot of people that are leaving California for many different reasons. But California is just not the place to be right now. Dead climate. Okay, that was damn funny. Shit. Uh, so that's the situation in California. Um, the other thing is that I'll go back to about protest, what we've got protesting here, and what the protests are all about. They're continuing to be rampant. Um, or there's people at town halls now, basically disrupting the proceedings and actually doing more harm than good. I mean, people have to understand that for a town hall or something of this nature, um, there's got to be uh, a smidgen, okay, of respect given for the office. Um, you'll have your turn to speak. I'm sure everybody can't speak, but you will probably have your turn to speak, or you can have some input on the speakers. Um, and I'm sorry, yelling and screaming and hollering and disrupting the town hall does not get your point across. You haven't proven anything. Um, uh, your credibility is being questioned whenever you act and you participate in this type of behavior. Um, they These individuals who choose to do so are um, interrupting the democratic process. They are interrupting um, anything you're actually getting done. Um, and they're actually drowning out others with other opinion. And this is not right. It's not fair. But how far do we go? Well, I'm just kicking them out. That's probably about as far as we can go. I mean, unless they do some damage or shit like that, then we can probably get them on something. But um, you can't arrest somebody. You can't really um, legally. There's not too much you can do. Maybe disturbing the peace. I don't know, but it seems like that'd be breaking the law. But I can't find by definition where they are currently breaking the law. I don't know um, um, what would constitute them breaking the law or whatever. I'm just saying it's counterproductive and it doesn't get anything accomplished. We don't. There's nothing that they're discussing that you can't discuss civilly and get your point across, and it adds to the better debate. I mean, you get answers instead of answering your dispute. I mean, or whatever you're complaining about. Um, doesn't really solve everybody else's problems. So you need to have a general consensus of what the feeling is for a group of people or whatever. Um, and that's not being allowed by this is not being allowed in some of the town halls. And some town halls, I be honest with you, I don't really um I don't really know if I want to go, but um, it's my civic duty to go. But based on this kind of atmosphere, and um, what is happening, I question whether I want to go or not, because would I do any good? Would my voice be heard? Um, would I be able to get my opinion across, or just be drowned out by um, those that are demanding attention? Um, I don't know. How it depends on in my area, yeah. Um, but we are my town is a small town. We everybody knows everybody, um, and we kind of community deal with our youth. Like if I do something or my kids do something, and I'll know about it before they get home from school. I mean, because neighbors tell on them, I saw your kid doing whatever. And those of you y'all don't usually know my number, I mean my name, but we're well known around this area, so to say the least. Mm, for good, for some good, some bad. Um, but that's case in point or whatever. But this is actually getting to the point to where and another point that I want to make when I'm making this video is that it's been a big source of discussion, to that the nation is being divided. Um, I agree with that. Um, However, I don't agree with the way their definition of how it's being divided. I think what we're seeing is, if you divide something, you just kind of cut it in half, or you cut it, then there's two pieces, whatever. But this looks like somebody just threw a baseball at a window and there's cracks everywhere. I mean, there's different factions, there's different groups, there's different, uh, yeah, I mean, everybody's got their own different, group. Everybody is really set on groups. Um, or they're really determining what group they're in. Now, here's where I see danger coming, and I'm starting to see it in these protests. Well, I started to see it during these protests, but now it's carried over to these town halls or whatever. Um, I call them the silent majority. So did Trump. But admittedly, so there is a silent majority who do their civic duty. They sit back, they serve on a jury, they vote, they go to work, pay their taxes, raise a family. I call them common sense people, and this silent majority, based on what I've learned from other social media and other talking to other individuals around my town and other individuals, abroad as much as I can, has started to explode, I guess is a word, or implode, I guess is a word. Because the fact is, it's getting down to the point to where silent majority is not going to take it anymore. I mean, these are individuals that, they take a lot, they give a lot, and they don't take a lot, but they give more than they take. These are individuals who know that they got to go to work in the morning, that have a responsibility to the community, have a responsibility to their family, have a responsibility, or they have a sense of responsibility. Now, these people are going to, the silent majority are, like I said, they're not going to stand by and take this too much longer. And what bothers me about it is just like the old, I watch a lot of football or basketball. If you watch sports, the first one that commits the foul ain't the one that gets called for it. It's the one who reacts to the crowd they gets the penalty on, okay, or gets a penalty or gets a foul or whatever. And that's what I'm afraid is going to happen, because the fact is that these instigators, they're people there out there baiting you to um, to react. They are actually getting in your face. They are actually baiting you to attack or to get into attack mode with them. Now, stand your ground laws are supposed to make it more even, to where you can actually stand your ground and you can actually fight these individuals back. But they don't work, because the fact is that once you get into our judicial system, which I have a big problem with right now, the judge is just going to say, you know what, you should have known better. They're going to let the guy with a record of whatever um, uh, get probation, and you're going to go to jail, and then, you know, all that entails. But it's really seemed like to me that we're getting into the point to where people are just sick and tired of dealing with this shit, and it's getting to the point to where people are going to start reacting. I guess the word I'm looking for is pushing back, um, and not taking it anymore. Especially, I don't talk about their views or those type of things. I mean, you can walk away from that, and if you're an educated person, you can just come back and say, you know what, everybody, you know, I don't agree with you, but I disagree, and that's common sense. That's a normal functioning individual. I don't agree with what you say. I'm gonna take the high road, and I'm not gonna say anything. But a person can only do that so long, um, especially if there is a potential, okay, for harm to yourself. If you perceive that one person that's in your face screaming, first of all, um, that's threat, okay. But there's so many legal terms that you could use for that, but they are not held accountable for that. It's always the guy who's demanding he gets his space back and pushes back that gets the charges on him. And this is promoted by our judicial system, which is I'm probably going to go into that a little bit later. But I myself have noticed this, and I am a felon. I committed a crime about 20 years ago. I broke a cop's thumb. Didn't mean to, but anyway, I broke his thumb. But I got hit with a felony, and I've had to live with that. I mean, I've had to, in spite of that, I've had to carry on and participate in whatever rights I still have available to me. Um, I'm a big proponent of felons getting their rights to vote back. Gun rights, I don't know. That's up in the air for me. I see the good and I see the bad on that. But it's still a right that's been taken away from you. You can't change it. You're never going to change it. In order to get your license back in in Texas, you got to get an expungement from the judge. Good luck on that shit happening. So that's all necessary paperwork that you got to do, whatever. However, I found a way to get around it. I can still protect my house. I just use black powder now, which is not a weapon. Um, I just recently purchased me an 1851 Colt Confederate revolver. It's black powder, and I'm really looking forward to receiving it and putting some rounds down range. I'm really looking forward to getting that weapon. I have friends here as well, and they've decided to go to black powder because there's less hassle. I mean, you know, it doesn't matter if you're open carry, concealed carry, or whatever the fact is. The mere implication that you have a gun is that you're a threat to whoever or whatever you're around. Okay, and I don't care who you are, which side of the fence you land on as far as gun control. If you are carrying a weapon, that's another intimidation or a deterrent. I shouldn't say intimidation. It's another deterrent, okay, for someone to think twice about how they're going to treat you, um, which would make one think that if I carry a weapon, then I won't have to deal with. If they see my weapon, then I won't have to deal with them anymore. Which is not necessarily true, because then you come down to the point to where you're going to have to come to the decision. Well, if you got a pistol or you got a handgun, basically, if you're carrying it, there's a damn good percentage of the time that you're going to have to use it eventually. And you're going to have to make some decisions on quickly, and you're going to have to make some decisions on what's deadly force, what's not force, or whatever. And the mere fact that you shot somebody with a weapon, when you appear in court, it's going to be very difficult, and it is very difficult for you to prove self-defense. It's very difficult, even if there's documented cases. Even if someone's breaking into your home or breaks into your home and you shoot and kill them, you're still going to go to trial. You're still going to be arrested. You're still going to have to go to trial. You're still going to be charged with this, and to clear your name, you're going to have to go to trial. But see, that's tip of the iceberg, because the fact is that you're always going to have this on your record. It doesn't show up as a conviction. Well, when you run background checks, it doesn't matter whether you're convicted or not. If you were arrested for that, not if you were charged. I mean, not if you were, if you were found guilty of it. If you were arrested for domestic violence, for any felony, then you will not pass a background check, basically. And then you got to go through the ATF, and then they got to review your case, and then it gets into be a part to where it's like, you know what, it's just not even freaking worth it. So I found out a better way. I just got a black powder weapon. I got, like I said, I got a revolver. I got a 50 caliber muzzle loader that I'm getting in pretty quick. Same. I mean, it shoots just as well as a 30-30, and I get more knockdown power with it. Reloading's pretty quick once you learn how. And I also got, for my wife and me, I've got the flashlight. It comes from a security store online. You can look it up. Security store, and I got a flashlight that turns into a taser. Not a taser, but a stun gun. There's a difference between a taser and a stun gun. Stun guns, you have to actually make physical contact with that individual. A taser actually shoots a projectile out. So in some states, that it's up to the law, it's up to the cop. Is that deadly force, or is that a weapon, or did you use it as a weapon? Those are things that are all taken in consideration. But normally, you can open carry a stun gun in any state. You can purchase it legally over the internet. They can have it delivered to your door. Same thing with black powder weapons. You can have them delivered to your door. Plus, you can order ammo. There's no shortage of black powder ammo or gunpowder, or anything you need to properly utilize your black powder revolver or long rifle. So there are ways around. There are ways around some of the laws, and it's unfortunate because the fact is that we have to, as American citizens, we're constantly having to change or try to find a way around a law that makes common sense. It's like, I mean, if a law don't make no sense, but they're enforcing it, it's like, come on, guys. I mean, use some common sense about, when you're enforcing the law. Too oftentimes we run against police officers who basically what they do is that they get you, they'll arrest you for some reason, something minor, based on how you react to whatever. They'll just keep throwing on charges, man. And it's like, taking a bunch of charges, throw them against the wall and just see which one sticks. They can arrest you for one thing and then they can charge you with all kind of shit. I think from the time they arrest you to the time they go back to the police station, they make up shit as they go. depending on your attitude and how you act in the police car, you know, going over there. But this is the police system, and this is our criminal law system, and we have to find a way around it. Unfortunately, we've got to find a way to beat the system or fight City Hall, because the odds are stacked against us as far as our rights. All our rights are supposed to be God given, but is that necessarily the case? Because they may be God given, but they're monitored by the judicial system. And if they're monitored by the judicial system, then guess what? I mean, who's really um, who's really making the decisions? You know, I mean, that's one to ponder on. So anyway, if you guys are listening or whatever, once again, it's 916-414-2800. You can talk to Wolfpack here directly. Bring up a point. Bring up what you're concerned about, what you're pissed off about, or what you like. Be happy. And you can also hit me up. The link is right there. I posted it a couple times. Nobody is really generating any impact on it. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to talk till I get freaking tired. Now let's go to the next thing that's in the news is, well, and there's plenty in the news, but I want to go to mainstream media for a second. And I've heard bitches and complaints and all kind of things about mainstream media. I have, I've been skeptical of people's opinions, because of the fact is that I wanted to prove it to myself, and I wanted to catch them and what their actually what their actual deal is. Here's what I've come up with. Mainstream media are controlled by corporations. And what I've seen since I've been doing this comparison is that they are affected by the corporations, which we all know. I'm not trying to tell you anything you don't know, but I'm trying to make a point here. Hold on, bear with me here. So, in a sense, the corporation pretty much kind of dictates the platform for the news, or as we see it on mainstream media. Some are called more liberal, like MSNBC. Some are more to the right, like Fox. CNN, I have no freaking clue. I don't know. I mean, it's like, I don't know what to expect from them. So, but my major fault with MSN or all social media is this: is that we see an event, somebody gives a speech, or somebody has an interview, or some decisions made, or whatever happens in Washington, or whatever that they that they render it's important to report on. Then we spend 3 hours of listening to panelists that are so-called experts that nobody's ever heard of before. Okay, and you can't really, they don't even really do anything except argue and try to scream over each other. So I'm tired of that shit. It's like, you know what? Have enough respect for them and let them talk. But social media, damn. I mean, mainstream media, damn. How many times can you talk about the same damn thing and look at it from different angles? We're not stupid. We get it. All right. And it's like, where's the real news? I'm pretty sure right now there's something else happening in the world that we need to report on besides freaking if Trump farted or not. Okay. There's got to be something else that we need to be aware of besides that shit. Okay. So where does that lean? Well, it's politics, man. Okay. They're bought into the political side, and that's what they're going to report on, because that's what gets ratings. And if you say it enough times, and another thing too is like, if Hitler said this, you tell a lie a number of times. Pretty soon, people are going to start freaking believing it. Mainstream media, we have been inundated from the time that we were able to watch a TV. Nowadays, it's like that's all kids do is watch TV, or video games. But every time you turn on the news today, you can it's so freaking obvious. You can tell they're trying to slant your opinion their way. They are pounding in the message that you want to hear. Plus, I'm accusing of censorship too. They don't report all the news. They don't report things that are important by region, by nation. But no, they deem what is necessary, or they deem one of the major decisions. I can see it in their newsroom is like, you know what? They're going to report a story based on the amount of viewers, how many, what the ratings are going to do. They report stories, or they will report on stories that will generate high viewer participation instead of producing a news story that has merit and requires real journalism. Real journalism today, people, is gone. You cannot really find a good journalist, because the fact is that they are held accountable by their bosses, for breaking a story that may or may not be popular, and it may not create viewers. That's it. That's what you have in mainstream media today. That's it. There is no ignoring that fact. It is starting to be used, and it's starting to be totally honest, obvious to me, but it's totally obvious that the fact is that they are, in their own way, they are spreading propaganda for the government. They are spreading propaganda for whatever views that their corporations that own them want them to. We use the example of Twitter and Facebook, and that's basically what's going on there. Their corporations, or their board of directors, or Zuckerberg, or whoever the hell he is, whatever, they are determining the content based on how many likes they're going to get, or how many views they're getting, how many users they've got. They're basing it on the content of what's popular, what's not popular, just to say, they have so many users. And then on the flip side of that coin, you go down too, because you got the elite that go on Twitter. And let me separate. You got the elite actors, but then you got Twitter and you got Facebook elite. And they draw followers like out the ass. I mean, they draw followers for no apparent reason. I mean, I don't know these people, and I don't really care what you think, because anything that you actually put on your tweet, somebody wrote it for you anyway. Somebody put that down, and this is your stance this week, and this is the message you want to send out. We're doing a concert next week. Let's get the concert out a month before. It's all fun and games, man. It's all fun and games. And we are controlled, and we don't recognize, unless we sit down and ponder, that it's happened. We don't see, or we don't notice that this is happening to us. I mean, one of the biggest propaganda lies that I've ever seen in my life, and just take it as an example. Remember, Stop, Tuck and Roll, or no, whatever, during the nuclear war, it was cover something. They had a stop, cover, whatever. I don't remember exactly what it was, but anyway, they had a turtle that would come out, and they played it to school children, on how to avoid or how to survive during a nuclear war. They put that shit on TV, and they expected us to freaking believe it. And they had people believing it. They had them. If you duck underneath the desk, you know what? Guess what? You're going to be free from a nuclear war. You're not going to get killed in a nuclear war. So taking that in consideration, now compare it to shit that you see on TV from the government, from mainstream media, from individuals that are actually out there to create an image rather than creating content that matters. I don't know about you, but the thing about it is that I'm not stupid. Common sense wise, I've heard it. You know, I can hear somebody's comments on the on whatever event, and I don't need to hear it 5 times. I don't need to hear it no more from anybody else. And I damn sure don't need to hear you guys in an argument. If I want to hear an argument, I'll go in there and pick a fight with my wife. All right, I would like to think that I'm better than that. But they do this. They did the networks do this too, because the fact is they know these two people have got completely opposite views, and if you put them on TV, it's going to be a good show because they're going to go back and forth with each other. Next thing you know, it's going to be a streaming match. Okay, I'll even go as far as this. MSM. Okay, I'm confusing him with the Jerry Springer show. Okay, that is what um it's just like the Jerry. I mean, there's so many similarities. I mean, you got to admit there's similarities between the Jerry Springer show and freaking MSM today. I don't know if anybody made that analogy, but you heard it here first from Wolfpack. Yeah, I it's like the freaking Jerry Springer show, and it's like, you know what, Jerry Springer show only come on one channel, so you can change it. But no, you got it all three freaking channel, and all three channels, and all you're trying to do is get the news, man. What's really going on? What's going on? I come off work. I want to know, you know, what happened, what the news is. You know, of course, the weather. You know, I mean, I'll check the weather, but what's something that I need to be concerned about, or what is actually affecting my everyday life? What is affecting my family's life? What possibly a story that you're putting out or whatever is, does it have any credibility? Okay. Um, I I get perturbed. I've been, you know, since I started doing these live shows, whatever, and you know, I'm not very. I don't know if I'll ever get any views or whatever. I really don't know, but um, since I started putting on these live shows, I have actually I have been looking at other YouTubers, and some of the shit they talk about, man, it's just I don't know. I don't. I'm sick and tired of going on to a website and they ask, and then it's like, you know, you get in there and they're talking about illegal aliens that freaking landed somewhere over here, and it was 2,000 years ago, 4,000, you know, BC or something. And I'm like, okay, what are you gonna do what are you gonna do now? Okay, if you spend all your time looking back in the past, I mean, are you contributing anything to the future? I mean, I look at Gab and I do have a complaint on Gab. It's like it's the home of conspiracy theories. I mean, well, it's known for anything, but anyway, it's home for conspiracy theories. It's actually a home for um, well, shall I say, you know, clippers. Now, what I call clippers is just people that just drop a clip out there and just say, "Hey, uh, yes, right, because I said so," and here's the film. Just watch it. Now, I kind of want to know what the hell you think. You know, I'd like to know what you think is going on. You know, I'd like to know your opinion. Okay, because your opinion, um, I don't know. Somebody said it forms a narrative about what you believe or whatever. I don't believe in that. I'd like to believe that people have different opinions on different subjects, and you can have liberal ideas in some subjects, but you can also be conservative in some subjects. I mean, you know, it just depends on the subject matter, and it depends on exactly what we're talking about. And you have the right to go back and forth, or make up your own mind and your own conclusions. This is why I hate groups. This is why I hate being put into a group, because the fact is, just because a person feels one way about one issue doesn't make him a conservative. It doesn't make him a liberal. He just has a liberal view in this area or a conservative view in this area. This is what I'm not understanding. I mean, why does everybody have to be in a group? I mean, I like being on my own self. That's why I call myself Wolf Pack. I got my pack. I got 4 dogs in my pack. That's it. Um, uh, I was one by the name Lone Wolf not too long ago, because I'm alone. I had my feelings or whatever. But I I do like the fact that people are waking up, and calling a spade a spade. They're actually waking up to MSM, and they're actually realizing also on social media, says that if you want to or whatever, but they're starting to see the same kind of thing going on with Twitter and Facebook, um, all the social media that's actually even been around for a little while. 4chan, you don't hear about 4chan anymore. I mean, 4chan, I don't even know. I don't even know if they're. I don't. I think though. I think 4chan is made up of aliens. That's what I think. If you want to go look for illegal aliens, go look at freaking uh, 4chan. They definitely come from outer space. I can tell you that. Um, I don't know about um, where the media is going. I don't know um, what it's going to lead up to. I do, however, believe that the more people that are um, noticing it and are more vocal about it, um, just what they see on TV and see where it's actually headed. Everybody that I talk to pretty much on social media, um, they is like, no, MSM, shit. I mean, they got some negative comment for it, and I'm like, why in the hell we watch it anymore? And I try not to. I try not to, because the fact is that but you have to kind of stay up on what's happening or whatever. And I think that's a damn shame. Because the fact is, we could use tools like YouTube, we can use Gab, we can use other means of social media to get live events on as it happens, with people that are there, and actually telling you what's going on, or what they're seeing. Um, Too many times we get some people on here like Dabu7. I mean, I listen to him, I'm subscribed to him, but sometimes he gets off on a deep end, dude, and it's like, you know what, just where are you going with this, man? Common sense, dude. I mean, use it. I mean, his coverage a lot of times is very very interesting. When he's at live events, he's good. He is probably one of the best live streamers out there when there's an event. Whenever there's not an event, I mean, I don't know where he's going. I mean, he's one of those guys, you know, um, that I look at as when they call them the flatliners. Yeah, those guys. The world ain't round. Um, and they have these own weird freaking ideas that have never been proven. I mean, they're so outlandish that you can't prove them. I mean, that's how bad it is. You can't do any research on them, because it's been proven to be false. And then all of a sudden, then you get individuals that start believing this shit. Next thing you know, you got a whole community of some bitches, and it's like, you know what the hell? They're gonna all sing kumbaya and commit suicide together because freaking aliens are coming. Well, I figure, put it this way: if the aliens wanted to be here, they'd be here by now. I mean, for God's sakes. I mean, um, I personally, hey, Ilya, I think it's Ilya. Ilya, yeah, I believe so. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. I'm very sorry. Hey, welcome. If you got something you want to type out, you got a subject, then go ahead. The floor is yours, girl. I'm assuming it's a girl. I don't know, but thanks for listening. I appreciate it. Um, I lost my train of thought. Got excited. Um, but my thoughts on MSM is basically, and the other thing I wanted to kind of go over about that is the fact is that if we can come up with a consensus and actually get people on YouTube who are dedicating themselves to reporting the news as they see it or live as it's coming in, um, this would help out not only social media, but it would help out individuals that are actually going through that event. Um, get the range of it. I mean, you could, it's an early warning system. You can let people know what's coming. You can let people know, you know, pertinent details or specific details about how they need to react. And hell, who knows? I mean, you might save somebody. Um, I'm not saying that's drastic, but I mean, you might help somebody out who really needs help, that actually is in dire straits, that maybe, you know, their GPS is broken, you know, whatever. But this is a way to get word out for people. And what I try to do on Gab, and I wish a lot of others would too, is, well, there are some. Nico's one. He's a good guy. Mr. Salisbury, he's a good guy. And report the news as it comes in. I try to stay up on what actually is happening. Matter of fact, that's really my hobby. I listen to Broadcastify a lot. There's a lot of other places where you can get the actual dispatch. Kind of make a picture of what's going on in your head, and then you can actually get the word live from the way the cops see it. And I like that. I want to be, I want to hear what's actually going on. I want to see what's actually going on. Then I can make an educated decision. Okay, you know, this is what's happening, and I know what's happening, and yeah, it gives me comfort of knowing, you know, it's not here, you know. So I challenge everyone to try to do that when there's a event happening and you have access to YouTube and you can see it live, or if you just hear news that comes up that could help others, put this into you know, a post, and get the word out there. I mean, because who knows, you know, I mean, some people may be utilizing this as social media for updates. They may be utilizing this in ways you know, you can't even possibly fathom. I mean, maybe it's something that you could actually do to help them out. And I mean, that's generally generally a good thing, you know. And I take my hats off to anybody that's helping people out during these times. Um, I think that more of that needs to be done. And with that being done, there is a really good chance that we can actually get the word out to people who actually need to get out. That's my spiel on that. I try to, but I caution you, please don't do this. I mean, don't just post something up there because you heard somebody say something or whatever. Please confirm it. Um, Identify your source if you can. Well, yes, please identify your source, and post streams where people can actually find out more information. Which is great, because the fact is that, you know, it's confirmed information, and you know you can go off of that, or people who need it can go off of that. I would like to get social media to the point to where it is a trusted medium, where they post sites, or we post sites that actually can help people, or make people more educated, or make up their own opinion. This to me would be the ideal situation. On Gab right now, currently, it's very difficult because I haven't found a way to post live streams on Gab or one of their areas or whatever, or one of their rooms. I haven't found a way to do that yet. I don't think there's one out there, but it would be nice if we could do that. I want to get the word out sooner as well. I will say this, and this, please challenge me on this. If something does happen, or an event, or something that's newsworthy, okay, you won't hear about it on mainstream media till at least an hour later. Um, I don't know why. I think, here's my opinion on it. I think that first of all, the story has to be run through some type of censor. It's got to, somebody's got to censor this story to see if they want to put it on. Okay. And they got to make the determination at that point if it's worth interrupting Anthony frickin' Bourdain. If I hear that, if I see that son gun in person, I swear to God, I'm gonna throw punch his ass. I swear to God, I'm gonna throw punch his ass. This guy gets paid to get drunk in every damn country he visits. You know, shit. I don't want that damn job. I'm sure somebody out there would like to have that damn job too. I mean, I'd like to get drunk in Thailand while I eat some shit I don't even know. I'd have to get drunk to eat some of the shit that he eats. I mean, shit. Uh, but for all general purposes, it has to go through a censor. Who that is, I don't know. I mean, does I would I would say that it is a white collar um, kiss ass that is known to make decisions based on what the corporation wants and what they allow and what they don't allow. And um, it's pretty evident that that happens because the say is, you know, you're there's a reason for the delay. And it's not like the fact is that CNN has they don't have enough resources to get to every site. They do, because how many times have you looked at CNN breaking in, but they're reporting it live from one of their affiliates? I mean, that happens a lot. So they do have the access to it. It's just if they utilize it or not. And for there's some reason why they don't. But like I said, on social media, I would like to get it to the point to where it is social media, to where it also encompasses the fact that we can take the place of mainstream media, and if not totally take the place of social media, I'm saying give it competition. I see that there, that we could do that, but what's holding us back is the fact is that there are a lot of individuals out there that think it's funny. This event think it's funny, and then they start fake news, and there are some people on there too that just start fake shit, you know, and I'm trying to avoid that. I don't do that. Just because I hear something, man, if I post it or I tweet it or whatever the hell I do with it, it's confirmed. I've confirmed it more than 2 resources, but at least 2 resources, maybe 3. I try to get as much as I can to post it to give you the best events possible. Now there are times I fall victim into somebody posting something and they don't get it confirmed, and sometimes I just post shit out there. I'm like, damn, that was wrong. You know, 5 minutes later, I'm like, damn, I was wrong with that. So I try not to be wrong. But no, social media, I want them to get into the play on because we don't have anything else, guys. I mean, if you look at it, we don't have mainstream media that we can trust. We don't have the papers. We can't trust the papers. We can't trust a lot, and we can't trust and we can't control a lot of the information that's going out. And when I say control, I mean putting people or relying on people and controlling the individuals who actually put out this information, and to make sure and hold them accountable to the information that they're putting out. If it's wrong, then they need to be held accountable for it by any means necessary. I don't know what, but there's a lot of instances that, you know, some of them are criminally liable. Defamation of character, of course. There's a lot of things that they could be. And I'm not saying. What I'm not saying is this. I'm not saying that you know, everybody should be prosecuted. No, but let's put pressure on them to tell us the truth. Let's put pressure on them to hold them to a standard, and what's going to happen? I mean, the Washington Post is going to sooner or later, the way they're going, they're going to be up there with the National Enquirer for long. You know, uh, our Stars magazine or some of that shit. You know that hell I use for kindling for my fireplace. You know, um, just a piece of shit. You know, and um, people's got to be held accountable for all this information that's going on. And if it's not true, then if you haven't confirmed it, then don't freaking confirm it. I mean, then it's you got to confirm everything that goes out. Next topic is I want to go over this the illegal ban that they're calling it. Some are calling it the illegal ban on Muslims. Um, I saw yesterday, which is kind of funny. I saw yesterday that there was a protest, or they said it was a protest of Hispanics in front of their state representative, and they were, of course, protesting this law, or soon to be law. And I looked at the amount of people there, and it was like, I don't know, by a handful, maybe a dozen, maybe 15, you know, just for shits and giggles. But I was sitting there thinking about it. I said, you know what? If I'm Hispanic and I'm illegal, the last damn place you're gonna see me is a damn protest. I mean, I mean, if I could use common sense there, then I'm sure ISIS thought about that, you know. Um, and of course, yesterday we learned that they're going to um, deportations, which now I don't care which side of the aisle you're on. I mean, let me make myself clear here. I do not have any problems with the legal immigrant coming over here and doing it the right way. I honestly believe that if you take that much time and effort to go through the process, that you're here um, to benefit to the American society and benefit this country, benefit it in some way, shape, form, or fashion. I mean, pay taxes, you know, civic duty. I mean, be able to go to jury duty, be able to vote. You know, those things. Those things. You once you become American, um, you have a right to. You have a right to all of those things. Um, but where I draw the line is that those here that are illegal, okay, I have an issue with, because the fact is that number one, um, um, okay, let me make sure I say this right because it's a touchy subject. Number one is, and this is a fact you can't get around. Okay, that's just a fact. Okay, you came into the country illegally. Okay, I'm sorry, illegal means you broke the law. Okay, now to what extent you need to be punished for that? Well, if I break into Mexico, for example, or not break in, but if I invade, or I just go down there and say I'm gonna live in Mexico, and I'm not legally a citizen. I don't do any paperwork to become a citizen and contribute to their society. I get 2 years in the Mexican jail. That's automatic. I mean, there's no trial, there's no nothing. There's just you go straight to jail. Now, and there's a lot of countries that have the same thing, that do the same thing. Um, they have repercussions for entering their country illegally. Okay. Now, the talk comes up. The fact is that people want to. They're pissed because we're actually um, they're seeming like we're targeting individuals, a certain type of individual or whatever. Well, my feeling on this is this. Okay, and I'm going to say this, and it's probably. I mean, let me preface it because I'm a veteran of Afghanistan. Okay, I've been there. Okay, I have seen this culture firsthand. I have seen the Muslim culture in his hoorah or whatever. But I've seen personally how the women are treated there. I've seen kids being raped over there. I've seen Afghan guards stopping kids on the street and taking them into the guard shack and raping the shit out of boys. I have seen that. We used to call it on Thursdays, because Friday was their religious day. Thursday, what they had, we called it was called Man Love Thursday. That was when the homosexuals or people who were gay would openly hold hands. They would open as men. They would openly hold hands. They would openly, show their affection. And it was rampant on Thursdays. I mean, I guess maybe somewhere in Sharia law, I don't know, it says that on Thursdays that's the day that you can be a homosexual. I don't know. But and with that also goes the fact is that you know what, I looked at the Women's March and I'm like, you know what, you guys have no idea. I mean, you guys have no idea what discrimination is. You have no idea. Um, you have no idea of living in a country and they're complaining about their rights. You have no idea to live in a country where you have no rights at all. You can't go to the grocery store without being escorted. You cannot be caught with a burqa over your ankle. You cannot. There's so many freaking things you can't do as a woman over there. And pretty much this right now. If you want to do it, you can't do it. That's the best way to remember it. If you want to do it in Afghanistan and you're Muslim, then don't even try to do it because you can't do it. You can't. I've seen a woman shot in front of an arena. It used to be the Olympic Stadium. And she was supposed to get, I think, 12 lashes from her husband per the Sharia court. He comes out in front of all these people and pulls out a damn 45 and shoots her in the head. Nothing happened to her. Nothing. A woman could be going about her business or whatever, and any man decides he wants to have sex or he's horny or whatever, he can just grab you and grab you. And here we consider that rape. There, they call it they're right. So be careful what you wish for, ladies, because the fact is that you ain't seen nothing yet. So yes, I am for having Muslims being vetted to an extent to where we know something about them and what their belief actually is, and why they're here. Now, I target Muslims, but I target everyone that's coming here and coming here for any time at all to stay. That means visa, student visa, whatever the fact is. If you're entering this country, you need to be vetted. Now, I don't make the rules. Okay, I don't. I don't have a say so, or I try to have a say so in the laws that I live under. But the fact of the matter is that they have put this on themselves. I'm not just talking about Muslims, I'm talking about Hispanics, I'm talking about anybody, any race or any religion or any person who's entering the States. They have put themselves, it's their own fault because they've put themselves at that level. Because in the Hispanic community, how many reports do we get of illegal aliens killing people or having a high crime, got a rap sheet longer than your leg? Deport them, they come right back. So it's like, okay, we just can't ignore this forever. We need to come up with a better system. And that is what Trump is saying. Trump's not saying we're going to ban everybody for life. We're not. We're just trying to say until we get a hold of this situation, we can control it, and we can dictate, who's who, and get out some background information on you. Then you need further vetting. Why are you here? Why are you coming here? And with that being said, I mean, there's plenty of times that it's warranted for this type of vetting. I mean, let's take for example, if your brother of the individual who was active in 9/11. I'm just not talking about the those that were on the planes. I'm talking about, the ones who helped plan it, because they didn't do that shit all by themselves. Okay. Um, we want to know that. I mean, um, because the fact is that we know that you're a potential problem, or no, we don't want this type of person in our country because of he's got ties to terrorism. You know, I don't know how that is not understood. They have links to terrorism, and it's like, you know what? You got to start drawing the line somewhere, okay? And then the next thing is that we have individuals who come here, and Muslims are the ones I'm speaking of. Um, and what happens is the fact is what happens when they get here? Okay, I mean, we can't pick out who's going to be converted. We can't pick out the future terrorists um, as they enter the country. That's not even what we're trying to say. Um, what we're saying is that you are going to be the Muslim religion needs to be policed because of um, the latest events, or continuing events. Um, the Muslim religion needs to understand that they have created this for themselves. I mean, Arabophobia. That's a freaking duck. If you want to have free rights and you want to be, if you want to um, be treated as an equal, or you want to have your rights or whatever, great. If you become an American citizen, you are given those rights. Once you become a citizen, but too often times they don't even become a citizen. They're here on some kind of else visa or whatever. And with that being said, it's like, okay, how do we know you're not going to be um, converted to radical Islam or being a radical Muslim? We don't know that. It starts from the ground up, because the fact is that what do we know? I mean, I'm a Baptist, okay, but I pretty much know what the Methodist teachings is. I'm pretty much I understand what the Pentecostal religion teaches. I pretty much know what the Amish, whatever religion that is here. I pretty much understand, except for Buddha. I don't understand that. I don't never got into that. But anyway, that's beside the point. Point is, you pretty much know um, what each religion is teaching in their church. And I'm not saying that you know everything, but I'm saying you know who's violent, who's not violent. Case in point, Westboro Baptist Church. Okay, they were put on the watch list. They were put on a terrorism watch list. Okay, as a Baptist church. So all I'm asking is this: is that why don't we know what the mosques are teaching these individuals? And if they're teaching hatred, or they're teaching to kill the infidels, they're going to kill everyone that's not converted. That is something you need to identify and put this mosque. They're on a watch list and actually watch them. I mean, how many times have we heard about radical Muslims or Muslims being here? They're on the watch list and they blow something up. Well, who the hell's doing the watching is what I want to know. Who the hell's doing the damn watching? Somebody, somebody's screwed up. Somebody's supposed to be doing the watching. Yeah, we're supposed to watch these people. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Um, yeah, Elia, I don't know. Anyway, I can't pronounce that name. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm terrible at names. And anyway, she's getting out of here. But um, so where is it wrong for us to control or have an idea on who's coming into our country or not? It's been done before. I mean, with the Irish, with every religion that is here. Man, where's the motorcycle? With every religion that's here, we have had at some point some type of test or some type of um, procedure that they have to go through to become an American citizen. Now, during the Civil War, that was pretty simple because once you came over and you got off the boat, they stuck a rifle in your hand and said, "You're going to go fight for the North." Okay. That was their indoctrination. um, and so many times from certain groups that were coming over here, if you belong to a certain group or religion back in your home country, you were put on a watch list. And you were explained the rules and what you can and can't do when you're here. Okay. It perturbs me, to say the least. It perturbs me when I find out that, and I see it on YouTube Live and those things. Um, um, because the fact is that I'm trying to get my thoughts together here. I'm kind of lost track here for a second. Hold on. I don't think that you should expect any different treatment because you're a Muslim. I don't think that Sharia law has any place here. There's only one law of the land. And I got what I'm saying. What perturbs me is the fact is that Muslims, when they come over here and they choose to protest or they choose to you know, um, to I say demand that Sharia law be enforced or that they have these rights because they're from whatever Muslim country. There's only one court in the land in here. And it's the Constitution, and it's through our judicial system. I've complained about our judicial system, but that's the best we've got until we change. But to my point is the fact is that it perturbs me whenever a Muslim can get on TV or get on social media or get somewhere and they know the Constitution better than our kids that are growing up. They know our constitutional rights and they know what they can and what they can't get away with. They know this because they study it. It is a form of indoctrination to them to know the laws of the country that they're going to commit terror acts in. And I'm not just talking about the people who blow themselves up or blow up shit. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is the individuals that don't blow themselves up, the ones who are still sending the message, the one that preaches this ideology. I refuse to accept it as a religion because it's not a religion. It's the same thing. I mean, I consider it just that, an ideology, and I don't personally like anyone or anybody telling me that their duty in life is to kill me and my family. And that for me is that's a threat. That's a warning to my family or a threat to my family. And I'm sorry. No, I defend that. I have defended that for 9 years in the service, 4 in the Corps, and then I did 5 in the Army and been deployed. But there's some things worth fighting for, and this country is worth fighting for. And we may be in turmoil or we may be at each other's throat, but as Charlie Daniels used to say, we'll all get together, rebels and the Yanks and hippies and cowboys and bikers, and we'll all get together if you mess with our country, if allowed to. If the government will allow us to actually defend our rights to be Americans, then we shouldn't have any problem with somebody invading us. We shouldn't have any problem with anybody in the rest of the world. I think it was a Chinese leader, and I can't remember his name, but anyway, I think it was Pearl Harbor. And after the Battle of Pearl Harbor was over with, he said, I'm afraid, Japanese. He said, I'm afraid we've just wakened a sleeping giant, and that's what's getting ready to happen. The Chinese said they would never, or one of their leaders at one time said, we'd never invade America because you'd find a rifle behind every blade of grass. That's true. If we were forced to fight on our own soil, which is a Sun Tzu very tactical plan that he used to use, by taking his soldiers, and he would put them in a there's only one way out. And when asked the reasoning behind this, the reasoning was, the fact is that he said that men fight better when they know they have nothing to lose. I think that applies to America today. I want to believe that. I also want to come out against this one guy that I really do not like. His name is David Seaman. I want to put that out there because I know that him and I have had words, or not words, but correspondence. Let's put it that way. This guy's making money off of Pizzagate. He gets advertisements off YouTube, and that's fine. I mean, people making money off YouTube to support, their cause or whatever. I do mine free. I don't charge anything. I don't want to. I mean, I just want to be heard, and I just want people to respond and start thinking. Think for yourselves. But this guy David Seaman is making money off Pizzagate. He's asking for donations to continue his work. This is what he does for a living. He claims to have worked for the Huffington Post, which is not true. He contributed on a couple articles, and then they ended up firing his ass because of the things that he's doing on YouTube now, and defamation, libel, and all these things. But anyway, the case he said, about producing this false narrative, he is making money off of it. Now, I don't know. My thoughts on Pizzagate is this: I don't know. There's a lot of smoke. I don't see no fire yet. I don't see the involvement in the government. But I will say this, though. One thing that I've noticed is that since Pizzagate came out and this theory came out, that there have been, in other countries, there have been more arrests for pedophilia. Now, I don't know if that's because it's on the top of their minds, and that's what the news is covering now. It's kind of hard to weed out, but I don't know if they're covering it now more because of this, or if it's actually happening, or they're actually cracking down on it. Case can be made both ways. But my feelings on Pizzagate, I'm not going to get in that argument, because the fact is that I don't know. I've done all the research that everybody's pointed me to. I have gone over it. I came out not too long ago on some of my recordings on Pizzagate about things that I found. And I don't really want to go into it, because the fact is that every person that I've confirmed it with, that is somebody, all the way up to the FBI, they have denied it. Metro Police, Washington Metro Police, they've denied they were even investigating it. And I did, and people I'm mentioning is that I called them directly and spoke through their office. I went to the local FBI office here in Texas, and one's in Austin. I called them. I got the number to call Washington, and I did a lot of research on whatever, and based on my information today, I don't know. You can call it either way. I don't know right now. And based on the research that I have seen, I can't make up my mind either way. I know that there's a lot of people out there that say, that I'm crazy, that I'm obnoxious, and I just don't, I can't um, see it all before me, and that it should be obvious. Well, there's a lot to it about pedophilia. Yeah, that's obvious. I mean, that we've had, God, I don't know for how long, but the issue is linking it to Podesta, to Clinton, to some of the names that they've said. Um, that's all hearsay. There's really no proof. Um, there are articles that come out, and David Seaman's one of the worst. I mean, he utilizes WikiLeaks, yeah, for all of his information. That's his source, is WikiLeaks, and I've read the stuff he's talked about, and he takes it out of context. He doesn't really show you the entire article. So that's my spill on David Seaman. I would boycott him. I am going to do whatever I can in my power um, to hold him accountable for the things he says. I'm not necessarily on the board of banning him or anything of this nature. I'm not that. I don't want to be that hateful to him, but I do want to put his message out there to get your shit together, bro, because people are watching. And um, you need to change your narrative a little bit. And I'm saying change your narrative. You may still have a point on Pizzagate, but stop defaming people and start calling people out and calling people a pedophile when you don't know if they are or not. If you're going to call somebody a pedophile, you better be able to freaking prove it. That's what I got to say. Because I wouldn't do that to anybody. I wouldn't, anybody here on Gab or anywhere, I wouldn't come out and call you something unless I had proof of it. And I think that is the way everybody wants to be treated, Um, know what you're talking about first, I mean, and second, don't identify somebody if you haven't confirmed it. So that's my say on that Pizzagate situation. Other things that are in other things that are actually happening today. I have actually put out on Gab that I'm looking for ways and I'm looking for help or advice on how that we can start some kind of movement to start replacing judges. And if it's difficult to replace them, I want to start some kind of platform or some kind of movement or something to let the judges know that we are watching and that they are held accountable for their decisions. Um, they're, I said it before, but the Lady Justice, she's blind. She has a blindfold on for one reason, because um, justice is blind. You heard that said, but you should be able to weigh your own decision based on law and not on your personal opinions or your current beliefs or whatever the case. Too many times we have judges that are letting outside influences being involved in their decisions. Um, so I've kind of preached on that a lot, but it's still bugging the shit out of me. So if it's bugging the shit out of me, I got to say something about it. I would advise I'd like to have anybody hit me back how that it can be. I know they can be impeached. Now that's not the only answer, but there's some clause somewhere that I ran across, and I can't remember where I ran across it. That they can be held somehow um, um, held accountable for the decisions they make, but it's called something, and I don't know what it's called, and I can't find the article. So, guys, if you're listening to this and you have a chance, please hit me back so I can do more research. What I've seen so far and what I've gotten to so far is that they can only be impeached, and we know how hard that is. We couldn't. We know how hard that is to prove. So I just go back to the fact is that I really I feel anybody in power should be held accountable. Anybody that is in a position to make decisions that affect another human being's life or livelihood should be held accountable. I think that um, in a perfect world, that would be able to happen. Um, Everybody makes mistakes. However, what I guess my big point is, the fact is that the attitude and the air of superiority of a judge being able to say, do anything. He can talk about your freaking dress. He can talk about your mama. He can talk about how you were raised. He can talk about um, anything that he wants to degrade you or put you down. He can do, and not held accountable. And I don't think that's right. I do, however, want to give them the benefit of the doubt because it is their courtroom. They have the right to maintain order in their courtroom. They have the right to um, um, be be responsible for holding the decorum and professionalism inside their courtroom. Um, they are responsible for the jurors. They're responsible for the bailiffs. They're responsible for all that, and they should sit down. They should um, outlay the laws of the nuances of each individual court. I mean, each judge is different, and it should be. Um, you will be able to determine it when you go in their court. There's some things different, but basically it is one protocol when you go into court, and I'm all for that. But as far as them taking it to the next level, about being able to say, do whatever they want to, and comment on defendants or plaintiffs, um, and the manner that they do is degrading. It's degrading, and they lose a lot of credibility when they do that. And they don't realize it because um, they're a judge. Um, well, I don't really give a shit because you're a judge. You know, you put your underneath that robe, you put your pants on the same way I do. You know, if you're not wearing any pants, damn, I don't want to know that. Um, but it does really perturb me and get under my hide of where the judges actually act. And not only we can argue decisions over and over and over again, and we'll tit for tat on that, but basically the general quorum and how they treat um, the members of the court is out of control as well, and they need to be held accountable for it. And that that, I mean, I'm kind of pissed off about that. If you guys can't tell, I'm kind of pissed off about that. And it's not just based on watching Judge Judy Hemme. I've seen some court cases, and I've actually done some research on where the judge actually is just way out of line. He's allowed to get away with it. And like I said, man, everybody's accountable. You and I are accountable for our actions. So should everybody. I think that the elite establishment now needs to be called out. I think that we need to start questioning the elite. We need to start questioning these people who get away with shit that we would normally be put 6 foot under the jail for. We need to start asking questions. Why aren't elite treated as we are? Basic common denominator is that it's money. They can afford, they can afford their best defense or whatever. Well, that's not available to regular people. It's not a, it's not weird. The fact is every time a regular person goes to court, your only avenue is a public defender a lot of times, and they're just out to make a deal. They're out to prove themselves in front of the judge in that courtroom, so they can get better treatment on further cases. It's all a damn scam, man. It's all a damn scam, and it's like, you know what? the justice system, if you actually just took a step back and got away from a second and then looked at the behavior in the courtroom. I'm not just talking about the decisions. I'm talking about the behavior in the courtroom. It's like these guys are going to sentence me. These people are going to. These people are my fate is in their people's hands. And, you shouldn't. You don't even have to be there. They talk about you, and you're right there. It's like I'm right here, dude. I'm right here, man. I'm right here, bro. Um, and that's not accountable. I mean, it's accountable to everybody. I mean, I'm sure that everybody has had a run in with a judge. If you haven't, man, don't. I mean, the justice system is not targeted for regular people. It's not targeted or it's not a best place to be for an individual like us. Because the fact is that we're discriminated against in the court, and that's I hate that it comes, but we are discriminated in the court system, and I'll argue tooth and nail to anybody that wants to argue that point or debate that point. I will, because I have too many instances where it has happened, and I've seen it happen, and I've seen it on YouTube, and I've seen different cases, and I'm like, you know what? I don't even care about the decision anymore. I just want this freaking. I want the attorney. I want the judge. I want somebody to have. I want to have somebody needs an ass whipping. Just don't treat people that way, man. I don't care who you think you are. You just don't treat people that way. Yeah, you may have broken the law, but shit, at least you deserve some kind of damn respect when you appear in court. As long as you're within the rules of that court. I mean, there's no reason why you should be degraded. I want to get into politics. The last thing I'm gonna say on politics, I don't really have a lot to say. It's because I'm sick and freaking tired of it. I'm sick and fucking tired of hearing politics. I am up to here with my TV being inundated with politics and Trump and protests and the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. I'm sick and tired of it. Last night, and I couldn't even watch it, man. I'm like, you're kidding me, definitely tells me why I'm not a Democrat. It definitely tells me that I'm damn sure not a liberal, because I couldn't wrap my arms around anything that they were saying. I couldn't. Not one person up there could I wrap my arms around and say, you know what? What's the point? And I try to be a level-headed guy to where I listen to all points or whatever. But some of the shit they were coming up with, man, I'm like, you know what? You get off the crack pipe, dude. Put the crack pipe down, man. Enough's enough. We've had enough. And that's what I'm going to close with right now. Is I don't care, and I don't give a shit. What group you say you belong to. I don't give a shit if you're Black Lives Matter. I don't care if you're anarchist. I don't care if you're anon. I don't care if you are whatever group that you claim to be from, and you want to protest and then turn it into a riot. Don't get me wrong. You have a right to protest. Yes, sir, you do. But when it becomes a riot and you're walking on the wrong side, bad side of me. If any way, shape, form, or fashion that anybody feels that you are a how do I want to put this? You are a threat to them. Okay. They should be able to react to or they should be able to protect themselves. That's just bar none. I mean, you should be able to protect yourself and the lives that you represent or you protect. That's just like, I mean, that's just, I can't believe that that's even happening. And I can't believe that people are having to put up with it and that type of behavior. All for, First Amendment right. Well, First Amendment right does have some, I guess how I want to say it, they does have some limits, and I think it's time that we start using them. I think that we start backing up, and it goes back to what I said earlier. Let's learn the Constitution. Let's see what we get. I mean, let's use our Constitution for our benefit. Let's finally stand up to our Constitution and the laws that were made by countless others that went before us, for the ones who have died protecting this country, for the ones who have sacrificed for this country. And I'm just not talking about veterans. I'm talking about the working man. I'm talking about that guy that gets up every morning, pays his taxes, goes to work, comes home to his family, raises a family, does his best to put the kids through college, and does his best to make life better for his kids than he does himself. I think that that is probably one of the goals that a lot of people have forgot. I mean, um, make life better for your kids, and that involves a lot of things. I mean, for me, I believe that this is a entitled generation. I can't even fathom asking my father for a cell phone that I didn't buy myself. I can't imagine the kind of shit that kids get away with today, and um, they're not held accountable by their parents. They're not held accountable by the schools. They're not held accountable to anybody. The parents don't want the responsibility, and the parents, I'll give this to, they have a hard time because the fact is that you got in the household now, it's changed. You got two people having to work just to make ends meet. I mean, you got a mother and a father that have to work, and that leaves a lot of time for kids to be on their own. It leaves a lot of time where there's no supervision, and if there's no supervision, you're not teaching your kids anything about the real world. What you're doing is that you're just trying to put them in a mold till they hit to be 18. A lot of these parents act like, what, they have kids because it's a tax write-off, um, or they get welfare for them or some kind of support. Um, and to me, that's wrong. I mean, I'm just like, what, I have so much to say against our youth right now, and the attitudes they have. I'm sure my father and them said the same thing or whatever, but it's gotten to the point to where um, I've got to, what, come to the realization. It's like, if you're not a grown up, and you shouldn't be treated as a grown up until you're 18. Once you hit 18, man, you want it, you're full grown up. Guess what? Pay rent around here. Okay, you buy your own damn groceries. You know, you support yourself. If you can't do that, if you cannot support yourself and contribute to society, um, then get the fuck out of my house. I mean, there's some kids that need to have their ass kicked out of the house or just sent down to the damn jailhouse until they get their head on straight. My thing is, I agree that I believe that every kid that hits 18 should go into some branch of the military just to learn some damn discipline that their mother and their father should have taught them when they were kids, because it's a hard world out there, and they unfortunately they don't see it, because they're buffered from the reality of life by their parents. Because if they want something bad enough, they know their parents will get it for them, and they get conditioned into thinking this. You know, they're the ones who go to college and major on civil, and the fine arts, and then wondering why they're not paid like an engineer. I mean, they're entitled. And I'm sorry, young people, I don't owe you shit. I don't owe you shit. I'm sorry, and your parents don't really owe you anything either. Because the fact is, your parents gave you the best gift of all, and that was for you to be born. That's the best gift you can ever get from anybody. And your parents should prepare you from the day you were born, until you become a young man or a young woman. Should guide you into being a better person. Should guide you into understanding how the real world works and how you fit in it and how you can contribute. But there comes a time you need to get off the tit and say, you know what, you're 18. I'm not going to support you till you're 32, living in my freaking basement and still want your freaking rights. No, if you're living here, we got rules here, and you go by them. If you don't go by them, get the hell out. Now that sounds harsh to a lot of people, but it puts the point across. Because the fact is that you have to realize that as a parent, it's very difficult to play both roles. To play a friend, the cool mom, the cool dad, or are you the dad who actually is setting a precedent and setting an example? Setting an example where, you know what, hey, you're a grown up now. You need to start realizing your place in the world. Because the fact is, we don't owe you nothing. There's people, but long before you, that have contributed to this nation. It's your turn now. Sometimes you got to ante up and kick in. America's only going to be as great as its youth. I've done run my run. Okay, I've done run my run. I'm 54 now, but I pretty much set in my ways, and I'm pretty much set that up. I'm probably going to live and die here in my house with my wife and my dog Smoke, as y'all seen there. But these kids need to understand, and they need to realize the harsh realities of what's in store for them, and they need to be prepared for it, because they need to understand that the decisions they make today are going to affect you for the rest. They'll affect them for the rest of their life, and they need to stop being coddled. They need to start, whether they're growing up, they need to start being treated as an adult. And whenever they screw up, as teenagers do, let them learn their lesson, man. Let them learn their lesson. Let them experience what can happen on their own. If they want the rights that they want to have, then let them experience those rights. But also, it's a flip side of the coin, because yeah, you got your rights, but then again, there's laws out there too that you break them and you're going to jail. Period. And ain't no mom and daddy gonna come run getting you out. There ain't mom and daddy ain't gonna be able to bail you out all the time. That's how serial killers are created, because they've been coddled the whole damn life. I mean, I take the freaking Columbine shooter. You can't tell me the way those two kids are acting at school and acting at the house that you couldn't see serial killer all over their body, or just admit something's wrong with this boy. I need to get him some help, or I need to spend some more time figuring out what the hell he needs to do and make sure he knows right from wrong. Can't tell me that shit. You can't tell me that you don't know your kid's bad, and then go into school or go into some kind of authority and then swear on the Bible that they're just a little angel. No, you got to realize you were a kid too. Remember some of the shit you used to get away with. Hell, my dad used to give me a whooping just because I thought about doing something. Those days are gone now. Now it's corporal punishment. Well, I'll tell you this right now. These millennials and these young kids that are out there supposed to be going to college, and they got time to protest and shit, instead of studying or learning about college life that prepares them to go into a occupation that can support themselves. If you got enough time to hang out and protest, dude, you can spend some time in jail for me. It's like, hell, you made that call, man. Basically, everything that comes down to common sense, as I call it, okay, it's just common sense, basically, that everybody knows. Everybody has common sense. They have that, you have that ability in you to know this is freaking wrong. I shouldn't be doing this. Or if you decide to do something, consider the consequences. If I get caught, too many times kids don't, I won't get caught. Or my parents don't care. They don't give a shit where I'm at. Whatever. Call them on that shit. I do care. You're going to have your ass in here at 9 o'clock. You're going to be in bed by freaking 10, or the noise is going to be down by 10, and you're going to get your ass up in the morning when I get up. My dad used to fuck with me. If I stayed up late one night, I'd just stay up till 11 o'clock watching a movie or something. Hell, he'd come in there and get me up an hour early, 2 hours early. I told you not to stay up that late. Learn by teaching your kids lessons that they can learn, that they can remember for the rest of their lives. Because you never know, the lesson you teach your son or your daughter today could make a difference in the decisions they make in the future. Put back to your kids exactly your morals, your standards, and your values, and expect no less. Let them know when they've done wrong. Let them know that there is a consequence to every action that they have, and don't back down from it. Consider the other point. They're laying up in jail somewhere. The damn correction officer ain't gonna really give a shit what they feel. They ain't gonna give a shit about about your TV time, or they ain't gonna give a shit about how much you got to eat or whatever. Today's world is very difficult because, especially during these times, because there is change happening. There is change happening on every front. If you turn around and look, there is change happening everywhere, good or bad. I want to believe that we are going to come through all this and somehow we're going to unite, but I don't actually see it. I do not see this ending well. I do not see that this divide from all these little broken groups and shit, where we're all going to come together and agree on one thing, which is we're all from this country, and guess what? We're going to learn how to get together, and we're going to come together on some issues. Some issues we're not going to be able to come to grips with. That's fine. But we got to get in the majority, and we got to get people out there, and we got to get people on Gab. Um, we got to get people on Twitter that people will listen to. We got to get people out there and get the message out that we're not going to stand for this shit anymore. I mean, it's done. It's over with. You've had your time. Okay, you've had your time. You know, and it's time to grow the fuck up now. Okay, um, it's time to grow up and be a big boy and big girl now, and make a difference in the world. I mean, hell, you can make a difference every damn day doing something good for your community or doing something for somebody who may not be able to do it. Do something that makes you feel good, that you've helped somebody at the end of the day, that you've done something that lightens the load for somebody, or has improved their situation just for a little bit, or you've done your part to help. And that's what we're missing from this whole um, status we're in right now, is that it's a me shit. Okay. We need to start thinking about other people, our neighbors, other people down the road, people that are in need, people who go to church and and they're in need. Put some money in the plate, man. If you see a homeless person, shit, stop by and ask them. Say, hey, man, I ain't gonna give you no money because you know what, you're probably gonna spend it on beer. But guess what? I'll go buy you a hamburger. I'll go, let me do something that I know it's gonna be good for you. Um, this is my message to America: is the fact is that we're gonna have to sooner or later put up or shut up. All these groups, all this protests and riots and shit like that. Pretty soon we're gonna have to put up or shut up. And I'm afraid that if this lights off and we do, and the silent majority like myself, if we do stand up and we call and we do start pushing back and we do start doing with things within the law, that it's going to be a powder keg, and this is going to start starting our implosion to where we're going to be um, at war with each other before we even realize it. With that being said, I think we are at war right now. We're at war with ourselves. They just don't call it a war yet. They don't call it a war yet. Reminds me of pre-Civil War. North and South were at war with each other long before the shots were fired. And that's what we're going through right now. We are setting ourselves up to implode. We are setting ourselves up to the fact is that, you know what? Some things, some people feel it's worth fighting for. A lot of these groups do not understand that. is we don't go out there to protest and to damage property. We don't go out there just to show our ass. If me or my kind have had enough, we're coming after you. We're going to pick out the loudest screaming son of a bitch in the crowd, and we're going to take care of you. We're going to shut that shit down. By hook or crook, we're going to shut that shit down. So this is a warning to all of you liberals, to anyone who feels it's necessary to go out and destroy property, to disrupt the American way of life, to burn American flag, to just cause discourse and hatred. We're not going to put up with it anymore. We're not going to. I, for one, have actually put my money where my mouth is, because I've started. Like I said, I got a rifle here now. I'll have my muzzle loader here pretty soon. I'll have my pistol here pretty soon, and I'm not going to take it anymore. I'm going to make sure that you know, okay, that on my land I am the judge. I'm the judge. I'm the jury, and I don't need to justify my actions to anybody, because here in Texas it's different. If somebody comes on your yard and you tell them to get off, you can shoot the shit out of them. Hell, you're good to go. We need more laws like that. But with that being said, we got a lot of people who will take advantage of that law. Like that guy I just saw, he pulled a gun on a 13-year-old. Well, that was wrong. I mean, he shouldn't have pulled a weapon on somebody. But I will say this, that, you know, all those individuals standing around, walking across his yard, you know, acting a fool, showing their ass. They pushed him. They wanted to fight. Yeah, they pushed him. They got into a physical conflict with this guy, and hell, he's a cop. He pulled his weapon. He didn't shoot nobody. I imagine what he did was he probably shot the round into the air just to scare the shit out of him and tell him to back the hell off, because his verbal warnings were not being heard. So it's already starting across America right now. People are starting to, as I said, starting to get fed up with this shit. Starting to get fed up with this shit, this me shit, this not caring for others, this general plain attitude that people owe you something. No, we don't. We don't owe you a damn thing. Everything I got, I earned. I've done, I don't know how many jobs I've done. I never was too damn proud to pick up a shovel. I never was too proud to go mow somebody's grass or help somebody out, like digging a well, or, you know, I never turned down a job. Sometimes I did it because the fact is they just needed me to help, older people or whatever, or disabled. Sometimes I would just do it because they needed to help. But I guarantee you one thing, those same people that I helped, they are always there if I needed them. I knew that. And by knowing that, I knew that I could contribute to society, and that my deeds were not, they didn't go unheard of. Which, in a nutshell, that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants to at least be known for something, and they want to really actually feel good about themselves. They want to actually do something that's important. But a lot of these damn kids, they don't know any better. They don't know any better. It's our damn fault. Within itself are here to make you a better person, more educated, okay? How to get along with people in your own community, how to act, you know, what's acceptable behavior, what's not. When am I pushing? When am I pushing the line? You know, when am I doing something that offends somebody else? When does that ever happen? Well, it's getting scarce nowadays. But if anybody takes anything about this out of this, is that I know that I'm feeling this way, and I'm sure there's a lot of other individuals out there feeling the same way. I've had it. Enough is enough with this shit. I am going to start pushing back. I am going to start standing my ground. I am going to institute into my daily living my civil rights and my God-given rights. It's all in the Constitution. I'm going to live by the Constitution the best way I can. And when push comes to shove, at the end of the day, I know I'll do the right thing. And if I didn't, then I will recognize that where I was wrong, and I'll be the first one to apologize for it, and I'll be the first one to come out and say it, I was wrong. It's very hard for people to do. They say, you know what, I was wrong. But it happens. So, in conclusion, I've talked about a lot of topics. Once again, I don't get a lot of listeners, and hell, I even put my phone number out there. Nobody call me, so this ain't getting nobody, but that's okay because maybe you'll listen to it later. I was kind of long and drawn out, but the main message, like I said before, and I cannot stress this enough, is that there are people here now that are tired of this type of behavior. We are tired of lawlessness. We're tired of people just blatantly breaking the law and just daring the cops to do something about it. I mean, Chicago. I mean, look at the figures out of Chicago, guys. I mean, for God's sakes. I mean, it's down there close to a genocide in that one town. I mean, and it's damn close to where the federal government's already warned them. You really need to get this shit under control, or we're coming in there to do it. That means martial law. Now, people have never seen that. You know, these kids don't even know what the hell it is. Okay, they don't understand what it means to actually have to call martial law in your own country. I can't accept it. I can't accept that. I can't accept somebody who doesn't understand the fact is that's not where we need to go. We don't need to go to martial law. We should be able to conduct ourselves within the law, within the community, and contribute. I will not back down from being intimidated. I will not back down from anyone harming my family. I will not. I will make a stand, which I am making today. I will not allow this shit to happen to me. I dare folks like Shia LaBeouf to get in my face. I dare you. I dare you to come at me and think that you can intimidate me just because the fact is that you think that you're in the right, or because of the way I believe. I dare you. This country was founded on individuals who would stand up against tyranny. Well, right now, the liberals are calling tyranny. They're the one acting up. If you are a liberal and you're listening to this, which probably not, you need to take heed. You slow your roll, and you need to start understanding that the fact is that we're tired of it. We're not taking it anymore. I'll go to toe with any of you son of bitches. But I'm tired of it. And you will know by my actions that I'm not putting up with shit. I will fight back for my country. I will fight back for my fellow American. I will fight back for somebody who is actually contributing to this great country and is contributing to society, contributing to their fellow man, and actually making this country great. Trump said it best, make America great again. Well, we got to start. And the first thing we need to do to solve a problem is we got to identify there's a problem. And ladies and gentlemen, there is a freaking problem right now. I see war written all over this shit, and it's going to implode. I hope it don't, but if it does, get ready for it, because it's gonna be hell. And we have the Civil War to prove that. And I believe history repeats itself. So I'm going to sign off here. For anybody that listens, I appreciate it. I go live. I may not go live anymore because no one really listens freaking anyway. So I'll probably put out another recording. I'll just start recording shit now until I can get some feedback whether you guys want me to go live or not. If not, then hey, I'll still get my message out, because I'm going to get my message out one way or another. And this is the first way. This is the best way I can do it right now. Doesn't look like it's working, but hey, I ain't got no quit in me, so I'll keep coming back. And I hope maybe somebody will listen. Thank you if you do listen. I appreciate it. Please support me. I don't want no damn money. I don't want nothing to come out of your pocket. I don't want anything. I just want to be heard. And if you agree with me, I'd like to have you come on and listen to some of my other stuff. Or if you're got a live tube too, just let me know on Gab, and I will probably follow you too. So with that said, guys, I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to go in there at Sheldon time. I like the Big Bang Theory, so it's Sheldon time. So I'm going to go in there, hang out and watch some Sheldon. And please heed what I said. Please give me your feedback on what I said and my opinions. They're all welcome. Like I said, I learn from other people, and I try to have the open mind where I can see other people's point. And I think that's I think that's the first step. I think that's our first step to where we can actually get to where we need to go, or headed in the right direction anyway. Once again, this is Wolfpack coming to you from the Wolf Den. Thanks for all of you listened, or for those, I only want to listen, but thanks for those that watch this in the future. I really appreciate it. Like I said, hit me up with questions, concerns, or complaints. Like I said, I'll be here. This is Wolfpack coming from the Wolf Den, and I will check you guys later. Be safe, be careful, watch